Friends, in today's video, I will be sharing with you the method for planting beans. Beans are also known as French beans, bush beans, or simply Phillian pods. So, how exactly do you plant them using seeds? How should you prepare the soil for planting seeds? What precautions should be taken while growing plants? Additionally, I will share with you the entire journey, right up to the harvesting stage, in this video. So, do make sure to watch the video in its entirety. Friends, to begin planting beans, the first step is to procure high-quality seeds. It often happens that people select poor-quality seeds, which results in the beans failing to sprout altogether. The seeds simply rot within the soil, usually due to being old or defective. Now, when growing beans, it is crucial to keep in mind that the soil mixture you prepare should have a relatively low nitrogen content. This means you should use compost or similar fertilizers sparingly, as these materials are typically rich in nitrogen. If the nitrogen levels in the soil are too high, your plants will indeed grow lush and healthy, but they will produce fewer bean pods. Therefore, the ideal soil mix for growing beans would consist of approximately 70% regular garden soil. You should limit the compost content to just 10 to 20%, and for the remaining 10 to 15%, or up to 20%, you can incorporate sand or cocoa peat. Now, since bean seeds are relatively large in size, they need to be planted at a slightly greater depth. However, and this is important, be careful not to plant them too deep. The maximum depth at which you should bury the seeds in the soil is 1 centimeter. If you plant them too deep, the seeds will simply rot underground and fail to emerge through the soil surface. As for the container size, if you are growing a single bean plant, you should use a pot that is at least 8 inches in diameter. If you opt for a larger container, you can comfortably plant and grow 2 to 3 plants within it. So, as you can see here, this is a 12x12-inch plastic grow bag of mine. In a container of this size, you can successfully plant and grow 3 to 4 bean plants. Here, I am planting 3 bean seeds in a container of this size. Once the seeds are planted, you must water them with some caution. This is because bean seeds are highly susceptible to rotting or decaying within the soil very quickly due to overwatering. The bean seeds typically begin to sprout within 4 to 5 days. As you can see, this is an update from approximately 5 days later. You can observe that all 3 seeds I planted in this grow bag have successfully sprouted, and the seedlings are growing in a very healthy manner. Over here, in another container, I had also planted 3 seeds. As you can see, all 3 seedlings in this container have also emerged beautifully. To ensure the beans grow well and produce an abundant harvest of pods, they require a minimum of 3 to 4 hours of direct sunlight per day. Therefore, you should plant and grow them in a location where they can receive at least 3 to 4 hours of daily sunshine. In addition to planting bean seeds directly into the soil, you also have the option to grow the seedlings separately first and then transplant them later. These seedlings become ready for transplanting in just 10 to 15 days. This means that once the bean seedlings have developed 3 to 4 leaves, you can comfortably transplant them into a larger container or grow bag. Furthermore, when growing the seedlings separately, keep one thing in mind. Use a container that allows you to lift the seedling out with its roots still firmly attached to the surrounding soil. In other words, you should avoid uprooting the plant and transplanting the bare roots directly. Otherwise, bean plants are highly susceptible to transplant shock in such situations. Moreover, bean plants grow very rapidly and they begin to bear fruit or pod very quickly. As you can see, this is an update from approximately 20 days later. You can observe that flowering has now begun, and all the plants are growing in a very healthy manner. Regarding beans or pods, seeds are available in the market not only in the standard green variety, but also in purple and yellow colors. So, as you can see here, I have also planted seeds for the purple variety of beans. You can observe that flowers, or buds, have started to appear on these plants as well. This update shows the plants after approximately 25 days. The entire plant is now laden with flowers and buds, with an abundance of blooms and buds having started to emerge. When growing bean plants, you should prioritize the use of fertilizers rich in phosphorus and potassium while keeping the nitrogen content relatively low. In terms of fertilization, first loosen the soil around the plants. Then, every 15 days, mix in a modest amount, approximately 1 handful, of compost. It is important not to overdo the use of compost. Additionally, every 15 days, apply 50 to 100 milliliters of a fertilizer made from banana peels, as this is an excellent source of potassium. How do you prepare this fertilizer? I will place the link on the main screen. If you wish, you can go and check out the video. You may also notice some other plants growing amidst the bean plants. These are onions and garlic that I have intercropped. I am growing them for their green leaves, and since there was empty space between the bean plants, I decided to intercrop them there as well. Additionally, a few batwa, lamb's quarters, plants have sprouted in the pot on their own. This is an update from approximately 40 days later. As you can see, the bean plants have started bearing an abundance of pods. If the bean plants begin to droop due to the weight of the heavy pod yield, you can provide them with support using a wooden stick. You don't need anything too large. A stick about 1 or 2 feet tall should be sufficient to support them. This ensures that no matter how many pods the plants bear, the stems will not snap. And here is an update from approximately 45 days later. You can observe that, despite being grown using organic methods, each individual plant is laden with a remarkable number of bean pods. All the plants are absolutely brimming with beans. You can see that all 3 plants I planted in this grow bag are completely loaded with pods. In fact, you will likely see more pods than leaves on these plants. Let me show you another grow bag. Look at how many pods have grown simultaneously in this one as well. You can also see that the size of the bean pods is excellent. Within 45 to 50 days, the beans, or pods, become fully ready for harvest. Therefore, you can now begin harvesting them at this stage. You can harvest the beans by plucking them by hand, or you can use scissors to cut them off. Harvest only those pods that have reached a size similar to the ones I am picking. Leave the smaller pods to continue growing. Gradually, after you harvest the existing pods, the remaining ones will also grow larger in size. Once you plant these seeds, you can harvest from the same plants 2 to 3 times, provided, of course, that you care for them properly. Make sure to regularly pick the pods as they mature. Do not leave them on the plant for too long, as this encourages continuous fruiting, meaning new flowers will keep blooming and fresh pods will continue to form. So friends, you too can very easily grow these beans in your own garden. If you are looking for high-quality seeds, I have included a link in the description below. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, please, pretty please, make sure to subscribe.